Hello and welcome to Thoughts from the Green Room with your host, Geoff Mays. In this episode of the Green Room, we are going to discuss living in the moment and being present. Let's take a listen. All right. Last episode on the Green Room, I talked about dreams versus reality and the idea that if you want your dreams to become a reality, it is absolutely imperative to base it in reality. Set tangible goals and day by day, inch by inch, work through those goals until you achieve where you want to be so that your dream becomes your reality. Put in the work, get the results. It's no different than any other thing that we do in life, although it's less tangible or seemingly less tangible for actors and artists given the nature of industry. Now, as much as I hold this to be true, Chris Kerba left me a comment and pointed out something that I have not touched on in a while. And this is the idea that as much as your dreams becoming a reality are important and you have to focus on the future to get there, it is just as important to live in the present moment and take time to, if you will, smell the flowers along the way. Thank you very much for the comment, Chris. Very much appreciate it, because although it's something that I feel is innately obvious, it is something worth talking about. Now, Chris's comment of living in the moment and taking time to smell the flowers along the way, although this is a truth and something I hold dear, it seems in contradiction to the idea of pushing forward and focusing on those future goals. The dilemma of living in the present versus living in the future. Now, this is a point which I feel affects everybody. Actors, artists, non-artists alike. We all have goals, we all have dreams, and sometimes we get too caught up in what's over there that we forget about what's here. Now, as an actor, I personally feel in terms of the performance or the outcome of what we do as actors, this skill of being present is the hardest one to master, at least from my perspective. It may be the easiest point to master for others, but for me and from others I speak to, it is the hardest point. Now, the question is, why is this so complicated? And I feel that it is complicated because of the fact that as actors, we get stuck in living in the future while performing. What? Say that again. We as actors get stuck on living in the future while we are performing. How? It's the idea of us trying to remember our lines. I don't know many actors who haven't, at least in some part of their career, gone through the fear or the pressure of, I don't know what happens if I forget my lines. Oh my God, I hope I remember my lines. I hope to goodness I remember my lines. And so on and so on and so on with those thoughts. The result of that thought process is actors sitting in a scene with their partner going, my next line is, my next line is, my next line is, hearing the cue word and then spilling out their line by rote. There's nothing wrong with this. It's one way to get through a scene. The result of that is often what I like to call schmacting, because there's no emotional investment. There's no investment in being a character, because all the actor at that point is doing is spilling out lines and words that they memorized. There's no interaction. It's a dry or a dead scene, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I've lived in this world. I know this reality. It's something that I continually strive to overcome, and I don't find it an easy process. The fear or the pressure that I might forget my lines stops me from being present, and I end up not doing a good job as an artist. How does this relate to last month's topic and this month's topic? Well, it is a microcosm of living in the future and not stopping to smell the flowers along the way. I am living in the future of my next line and missing the opportunities and the joys of the moment at hand. So how do we combat it is the real question. And I believe that we combat this as an actor in the scene through two things. The first is our homework. Now, there are all sorts of ways that actors will achieve the ultimate goal of presenting a character. There are many tactics and ways that we're going to go about doing it. And for each artist out there who does it, I encourage you to do it each and every time to bring forward your best performance in everything you do. Doing that homework, in theory, if it's done well, is supposed to result in what I believe to be two things. One, knowledge within self of what the character is, where that lives, how they respond, behave, and everything that a character does to bring to life that human character. And two, it will help to ingrain all of the dialogue that I'm supposed to be saying in each and every scene that I have for this character. So that's the first step. Do the homework. Get the homework done and do it well so you're prepared. The second step of being present in the moment and not stressing about those future lines is active listening. You heard it here. I'm going to say it again. It's active listening. Now, this is what they call a soft skill, and it's used everywhere, consciously and unconsciously, in the business world. The interpersonal skill sets, the soft skills, are big, huge topics and hype words right now, and active listening is among the key skills to master. What is it? What is active listening? It is the ability to listen and hear and take in rather than just in one ear and out the other. It is actively participating in what is being said to you so that you can respond to what is said to you. I'll give you a quick example in a non-acting context. Sitting in a conversation and a friend of yours is telling you about their fabulous weekend and how things were going on, and all you can think about is the fact that your car got a flat tire, and you want to remember, I've got to tell my friend about the flat tire, I want to tell my friend about the flat tire. You miss, because you're thinking about your flat tire, the fact that your friend says, and they proposed to me. Doesn't even register. Flat tire, got to remember about the flat tire. Proposed to me. Wonderful, it's so good to hear. Flat tire. Great, so this weekend I had a flat tire. Your friend all of a sudden is pissed off at you because you're not acknowledging them, you're not recognizing them, you're not celebrating the joy that they got proposed to, because your flat tire is always present on your mind. Same thing for an actor in a scene. This is my scene partner talking. My next line is, my next line is, my next line is. Scene partner's talking. My next line is cue. And the boy went to the street. How flat and boring is that? So we need to actively listen. And that is the skill of putting aside our agenda and taking in what the person in front of us is saying. When they've finished speaking and we do not interrupt them, we then add to that. We acknowledge what they've said, we respond to what they've said, and as it connects to things that we want to talk about or generates new thoughts, we put those forward. Somewhat in that order. Respond, acknowledge, share, move forward, back and forth conversation. Actors need to do the exact same thing in a scene. They need to listen actively to their scene partner. Not wait for their cue, but listen to the whole line, each and every word, what it means, so that we are affected, so that the emotional context can come through us and we can respond with the given line that we have in the script. Scary. It is a leap of faith, in my opinion, to go from I must remember my line to I will remember my line once I've listened to the other person. Why will I remember my line once I've listened to the other person? Because I did all of my homework before I got to set, before I got on stage, to help me better understand my character. And through understanding my character, those lines that I learned will make greater sense in the context of a conversation. And that means if I put myself into the conversation, the lines that I've already learned because of the homework will come naturally as responses to what I've listened to. They make sense all of a sudden. And the conversation between actors, between characters, is now a conversation, not two actors trying to remember their lines. We bring this all back around to the themes here, which is, first, our dreams versus reality. The ability to look to the future, say, this is the goal I want, and backtrack, if you will, to the point of today I need to do X, Y, and Z to accomplish the goal. Then the next day getting up and doing the A, B, and C to get to the goal. The day after, D, E, F, and so on to get to the goal. In doing that, many people get lost and only stay on the dream of the future. To combat that, we need to set that goal and get up in the morning and live the moment of the X, Y, Z, the A, B, C, D, E, and F, and so on. Live those moments. Quick example. I say that one of my goals is more research, more reading of books. 5-year goal. If I do more reading of books, I will achieve greater ability to do character. So today I go to the library. I'm going to read books. I'm going to do all the research I can. And I'm going to make sure I do all that research so I can get to my goal. And I leave the library and I feel satisfied because I'm closer to my goal, but I have not partaken in anything that I just did. Versus I'm enjoying my walk to the library. It's a pleasure to look for the books that I need to read, to sit presently with the book in hand and take in the information. And at the end of the day, appreciate what was accomplished moment to moment with the benefit of one step closer to my goal. So with all of that said, the oxymoron presented by the future versus the present is not so much of an oxymoron in my mind anymore. Living the present creates the benefit of achieving the dreams in the future. The trick is making sure we get the order right. Live in this present to achieve those goals. Every now and again, we have to stop and we have to look to the future, set the goals, set the desires, make sure the dreams are in line with the path we're walking, and then we come back. Live the present moment to get the benefit of the goals. Day to day, way to practice it for actors, actively listen in your scenes after you've done all of your homework. Homework is the dream setting, the goal setting. Staying active in the listening of a scene is being present and living in the moment. Thank you, Chris Kerber, for the comment and the reminder about how important it is to live presently, as well as to concur with me about the dreams to achieve them. I appreciate the feedback because it offered me thoughts to share in this episode's Thoughts from the Green Room. And as your host, I will see you in just a few weeks.